Welcome back. We're playing Frostpunk, and we'll get started on our next scenario, On the Edge. After the Great Storm has exposed an army warehouse, we were sent from New London to set up an outpost there. Times are changing. What will be our role in the coming thaw? And we're going to play on Survivor mode. Survive against all odds. There's no active pause. The game will be very difficult, and your progress will be saved on exit only. Another video.
They say the snow is dead, but we've learned to the contrary. Snow is ever-changing, unstable, restless. We survived the Great Storm. It took away a lot from us. Still, it gave us something in return. Tempestuous winds brought relics of the past to light, ones that can bring hope for the future. Our assignment was simple. Arrive at the site, build a reliable camp, and create a stable chain of supply. In return, we'd get food and necessities. A square deal. But deals have this peculiar quality. Just like the snow, they tend to change.
We are the Outpost team. The Great Storm has uncovered an underground army warehouse. From times before the evacuation, New London sent us here to build an outpost and gather the resources, any resources we find. We must rely on New London for food. There are no animals to hunt here, and the ground is solid rock. Thankfully, the weather is fine for now, so we'll be able to survive without the generator until we have other ways of heating. Let's get to work. This could be interesting. So I wonder if that means I have to build a generator, or I just don't have one. Can't tell if that doesn't look like an early generator. We know what to do. Our first task is to clear the road to the warehouse and start gathering steel. And of course, let's not forget setting up some tents. The night is going to be cold without a generator. Book of Laws. The laws are signed by New London. Interesting. Okay. Get in touch with New London. We need to rebuild the transport depot so we can get supplies shipped from New London before the food runs out. To get in touch with them, the outpost administration will be necessary. Frozen Den. Provide room for everybody. See, just like that. promise fulfilled. Gotta start gathering. Frozen Den. It's indeed a large grotto, the darkness filling it, and we find animals and human bones bearing teeth marks, and a large lair of a large predator, probably a bear. No country for living beings, a terrifying and sad place. The animal that lived here for quite some time was feeding and preying on animals. After searching the cave, we found the predator, a mother bear and her cubs. They are lying huddled together in the farthest corner of the cave. They did not survive the great storm. Crumbling hut. We can see the long building, which seems to recently repaired and inhabited. We see smoke rising over the roof.
Up well, the frost is here.
The building, once heavily damaged, hasn't been repaired to provide some protection against the weather. The smoke is billowing from its makeshift chimney. Crumbling hut, call us hope. We knock and the armed people answer the door. They lower their weapons after we reassure them we're peaceful. We find out that we're their last hope. They're emaciated, hungry, and sick, and their supplies are running out. We learn that the previous inhabitants were killed by the animals. Escort them back to our location. Good day, Outpost 11. Well done with the progress so far. We'll send you the first food shipment. Now the operation is established, we'll wait for the first batch of steel from your outpost. In the meantime, we are dispatching a group of clerks to run the outpost administration. Your children will arrive with them. They are surely eager to rejoin you. Remember, we can always assist you with any problems. What's our task again? We need some help. We need some raw food. Your request was granted. This is odd. There must have been some misunderstanding. Our children were not supposed to join us. Certainly not this soon. It will make things easier for us. Well, it's not too late to turn back. At least New London promised to also send food our way. Hopefully they'll keep to the schedule. Sawmill? I don't really want my engineers in there.
Shift's over, people. Enjoy your free time.
The children arrived, sir. The clerks sent by New London to run the outpost administration are here. They brought our children with them. Many of the people are really upset because it looks like our kids were neglected. They haven't enough warm clothes, and some of them got a cold on the way. But now that they're here, we can care for them properly. The collapsed building. Here we can see some buildings standing out in the foot of the mountains.
Get a move on. There's work to do.
Trove steam core, sir. We have great news. The warehouse contains an unknown but very large number of steam cores. We immediately sent the news to New London and await instructions. In the meantime, we try to find the hull, at least some of them, to the surface. This requires stopping steel exchange for a short time. We heard about the cache of steam cores found in the warehouse. That's a very timely discovery. These devices are critically important for securing the city. Please send us a couple of steam cores with each steel shipment from now on. To help you ensure timely deliveries, You are hereby authorized to use emergency shifts. If you encounter any obstacles in your progress, talk to us and we'll find a solution. Emergency shift.
Heads up. New law has been enacted.
Four, 5, 6. We are standing in front of a ruined building whose purpose we cannot guess. It's possibly the only reminder of a larger complex past glory. Perhaps it was a mountain shelter or a military watchtower. A shred of a white flag flutters in the wind above it. God only knows how it survived. There's no telling whether it has always been white or whether it lost all of its color over time. A stone wall. A darker line crosses the valley.
Work's over. Rest your weary bones.
People are hungry. Let's feed them. Though I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. See if maybe that can trigger it to...
Get a move on. There's work to do.
A wall-like rock formation crosses our path. It almost looks like the work of human hands. Testimony of the past. We notice some snow-covered shapes in a niche sheltered by the rock wall. After a while of digging, we uncovered several frozen bodies huddled together by a couple of broken sleds. Judging from their clothing and gear, they were scouts like us. We also found some valuable resources in the sleds. Take the resources. Outpost 11. Is there a problem? You haven't dispatched the scheduled steel and steam cores shipment to us yet. To help fulfill your duties, we give you the right to introduce extended shifts. Use it wisely. We want to talk. We don't have time to talk. Extended shift edict. Can you help us? Need more coal. Well, I feel like heaters are always a good option. Although I think if I can rush this and get my healing going, that's going to cause a big difference. Promise the sick will be treated. Healthcare promise fulfilled. We got less food. Sir, workers unloading the shipment of food from New London notice that it's quite a bit smaller than we expected. The news is, of course, already all over the outpost, causing much anxiety and anger amongst our people. Let's hope it's just a mistake and not a sign of things to come. Alright, come to the remnants of a building. We see the outline of a large ruined building. It seems that it had several chimneys. We're sorry to inform you that due to circumstances beyond our control, the food supply will be reduced until further notice. We assure you that the shipments will return to the agreed upon size as soon as possible. We hope this inconvenience will not impede your progress. We expect you to keep the shipments on schedule. Keep up the good work. We have to talk. You know what? I don't think I ever put those guys on the...
Get to work, people. Shipment is waiting. Shift's over. Get some rest, people.
Remnants of a building. Indeed, a large building stood here. The size and number of chimneys suggest that it might have been an inn, but now their collapsed remains are all that stands amongst the snow and the ice. We would love to have eaten here. Before the frost, there was probably a road here that would have led to the bay, to the plains, and it must have been frequented since there was an inn beside her. The place was undoubtedly nice, at the feet of the mountains, with a view of the sea and the horizon. That's all we can guess from the ruins sticking out. Take the resources. Forgotten fishery. A small sheltered bay looks promising. We could find something there.
Brace yourselves. Cold is coming.
Yes, we should. We need to do something about the dead bodies. Funeral economy.
Attention. New regulations from New London. Get a move on. There's work to do.
Yeah. Hungry, we're fed. Get that going. We need to talk. We acknowledge your first shipment. Well done. The steam cores mean a lot to our people. We are pleased to let you know that the plan to send you food shipments every day. Just keep the steam cores and steel coming. If the supplies you provide are deemed insufficient, we'll have to think about consequences. And remember, if you run into problems, let us know. We'll find a solution. The ire rises, sir. The news of New London is pleased to tell us that they'll keep sending us food they owe us spread amongst our people, causing a lot of resentment and anxiety, and the vague consequences they threaten us with. Shall we fail to please them, further fan the flames of our outrage? After all, everyone is talking about how we are going to keep the steam cores to help. Should use steam cores to help us first, since we're the ones that found them and have no generator, unlike the folks in New London. Oh shit. I didn't use these guys. The sheltered cove is a convenient place for fishing once, until the seas froze and a thick snow cap buried everything. Strong winds blew the snow away, revealing the remains of a fisherman's hut. No fishing today. The remains of the fisherman's hut and the tents are scattered among the ice. The wood is crushed into splinters. It won't be of any use to us. Take the resources. Oh, god damn it. You weren't actually supposed to build those. Hanson Stormwatch. A sturdy watchtower stands on the hilltop. It must be Nasson Stormwatch, which our scouts visited before the Great Storm.
Hurry up, people. We have a quota to fill.
I did what I had to do. try the discontent. Public house edict.
Attention everybody.
It's
We
not
have
really
new
the one I
regulations.
wanted. Outpost, we have bad news for you. The rules governing the shipments have changed. From now on, the food supplies will only be sent after you dispatch a shipment of steel and steam cores our way. We regret the necessity of taking such dramatic measures, but they were deemed essential to facilitate timely delivery of critical supplies. We have to talk. We don't have time. Nasan Stormwatch. Sturdily built Nasan Stormwatch survived the storm and rises proudly over the snow. It was here that we have seen the last traces of the fearless polar explorer. Its walls are free with ice. Someone must be inside. A few lucky men. Inside we find a group of people huddled by a big stove. They say that they are rescued by Nasan from the whaling ship trapped in the ice right before the great storm. The great explorer brought here and ventured further north to study the changes brought to the world by the great storm. They survived thanks to the fuel and rations found nearby, which is now running out. We'll decide their fate later. Windy Beach. Our attention is drawn to a large oval shape standing out in the wide white expanse. A hole in the snow, who knows, perhaps a settlement's at the bottom. We must act, sir. Our people are angry and anxious about the food situation. A group of experienced explorers is here to talk to you about the solution. By cutting our food supply, New London has shown that we can't rely on them, and we need another source of food. Fortunately, our scouts report signs of recent human presence in the south. Send them to investigate. That might be our lucky break. Let's hope so. Alright, let's try to get down here. Natural terrace. The road ahead opens and leads to the mountain terrace.
New London is waiting. Get a move on.
It turns out that there is no city in the whole part of the ice and snow covered the beach was carried away by the winds of extreme force, which exposed the bare rock underlying it. Fool's gold. It's just a depression reaching all the way to the bare rock created by the violent winds, one of the most striking testaments to the power of nature's force unleashed by the passage of the great storm. Carry on. Shattered dreadnought. Dark dots mark a wide area of land evenly covered with snow everywhere else. Care house. Can't do anything with that. Natural terrace, we need food. The mountain terrace slopes gently towards the valley below. Place with a view. The view is promising. The valley seems cozy by Frostland standards and invites us to descend into it. There is nothing remarkable about the terrace itself. Secluded valley, carry on. Secluded valley ahead of us. We see an isolated, cozy valley which seems to invite us to visit. Alright, shipment's ready. Can you help us?
Shift's over. Leave your workplaces
People are
in
hungry. Can't address this. Shattered dreadnought. All we found are pieces of metal trapped in a thick layer of ice. It looks like some terrible force shattered a large metal structure here. USS Prometheus. Between the scattered elements of the ship's structure, we find an engraved nameplate of the USS Prometheus. So this is all that remains of one of the dreadnoughts used to found Tesla City. The great storm has buried it beneath such a thick layer of ice we have no hope of uncovering it. Perhaps the spring thaw will allow us to get to it someday. Take the resources. Tesla City. Secluded valley. The valley seems to have its own microclimate. It's less cold, and the waterfall, although frozen, appears to have been flowing relatively recently. People were here. Going further into the valley, we find the remains of a grove. A large number of stumps is all that is left of it. Someone cut it down. Not too long ago, we found some fresh chips under the snow. Take the resources. Hot springs. The valley widens ahead, and there seems to be a small settlement there.
Wrap up well. Frost is here. Get a move on. There's work to do.
Oh my gosh, there's all sorts of inoperative things going right now. Actually, no, I want that. Tesla City, our map says, the proud Tesla City. Actually, let's just come back here, because I need the resources. Oh, wait. What am I doing?
Work's over. Rest your weary bones.
A small settlement built under the cover of rocks, which several dozen people live. It consists of several sturdy buildings and 2 large greenhouses, heated by hot springs. A gift of life. Amazingly, people live here, and not only do they grow their own food, but they are willing to share it. This enclave of life, clinging to a few hot springs, was settled by the great storm by people of a town who survived from the help of another city. They set up hothouses here and planted seeds, as to say they passed the gift of life. They give us some food as a gesture of goodwill and are eager to trade more in exchange for help of expanding their settlement. We take the food and promise to build a trading post here. Terrific. Trade with hot springs. Now that we've found a promising food source, we should build a construction team unit in the transport depot and send them to the hot springs to build a permanent training depot. Okay, how do I do that? Okay, it costs 10. Come to hot springs. A small settlement built under the cover of rocks in which several dozen people live. It consists of several sturdy buildings and 2 large greenhouses created by hot springs. Alright, get over there. Let's put you back over on that.
Get to work, people. Shipment is waiting.
Alright, you guys are back. Come up here. Get us lighter sleds. Actually, let's get freight elevators first. Can't address that. Can you help us? We need raw food. No, we can't. Can you help us? Coal. People are furious. We must hold out. Alright, build a trading post. No shipments to send. Food autonomy. Sir, people rejoice in the news of the food deal with Hot Springs. We might still have to somehow return the favor, but we'll do it on our own terms. I don't understand, so how do I do this? Hello, the people did a great job setting up the trading depot so quickly. Now we can start helping each other. We are sending you our surplus food and can give you more if you provide us with resources necessary to expand our settlement. We'd be grateful if you could assist us with improving our housing and healthcare. That's great. One more thing. Wait, we need some food? You ask for a lot, but we agree. We hope you remember it when the time comes. Thank you. We have some problems. Can you help us? Cold homes. I won't address this right now. Two. Three. Let's get those guys there. Housing and healthcare. So, how do I help them? Get you out there. We commend you on finding another settlement and making initial contact with the representative. Their crops will provide very timely aid to our food security. However, we have to remind you all external connections and food distribution networks are to be handled directly through No London. Immediately cease contact with Hot Springs and hand over the raw food you received. We need to talk. This is outrageous. Enough is enough. Bloody bastards. No more masters. Conflict. People had enough. Sir, people are rioting. They refuse to follow the orders of New London. No more masters, chants the mob. Enough is enough. A miner waves her mattock in the air. Bloody bastards, she shouts. They treat us like dirt, abuse our kids, and now they want us to give up our only hope of survival? No way. People have dragged the office workers from the outpost administration to kick them out of the outpost as they stand. Should we intervene and to let the clerks prepare the journey to New London? No, send them back as they stand. Yes, tell our people to back down. We're better off without those New Londoner leeches. How can we make these demands of us? You treacherous scum. Your outpost is officially disbanded and you will be tried for treason upon your return. You have 3 weeks to convince us that you've changed your ways and wish to remain loyal to the citizens of New London. After that you'll be hauled back in manacles, and may God have mercy on your souls. This was New London speaking. Over and out. Seek help in Frostland. With the communications cut, there's no way for us to walk back from the brink. Even if our people cool down, we have second thoughts about the whole independence declaration. You can only prepare to confront what we must assume will be a punitive expedition coming from New London. For this we need much more manpower and resources than we have, so let's try to find more people in Frostland. Maybe there'll be other settlements like Hot Springs. It's worth asking for help. Difficult times, harsh words were said, reckless decisions were made, but now we can't turn back time. We should now focus on searching Frostland in hopes of finding our other people out there. Alone we have no chance against New London other than we just have to wait for their move.